Discrimination is something that can affect your family, whether it's for their religion, monetary income, or race. Many families throughout the United States face the injustice of other people's words simply for believing in a certain God or gods. Some families deal with the hatred for the little to no money that they can earn. Possibly the worst type of discrimination and common is race. Ethnicity is something that we cannot change about ourselves, so we shouldn't have to deal with others' negative opinions on our culture. Discrimination can also affect your future, whether you're the victim or the discriminator. If you happen to be a victim of discrimination within an early age, you will have a negative outlook on life and will not be optimistic or hopeful for change to occur within your favor. But if you're the discriminator, this can also negatively impact your life, as you will not have a good standing with people in which you could have started a new friendship or relationship with someone, but you immediately eliminated that chance simply by using malicious words or actions against them. You didn't give them a chance.
How does discrimination affect the world? Discrimination can be a figment of a person's human rights. Discrimination in the world can cause people anxiety, depression, or stress. Etc. People around the world can be discriminated for their race, religion, gender, or age. One form of discrimination is gender discrimination. This is a serious topic in the U.S., and examples of gender discrimination are lower salary, sexual harassment, inappropriate jokes, excluding assignments or important tasks, and lack of promotion. These are all signs of a patriarchal society. It doesn't matter what gender or race you are, we should all be treated equal because we are all humans. You should be proud of where you come from and not worry about what others have to think about you, because inside they're the ones that want to make fun of you so they can feel good. One situation that I was in, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I follow a page called Bleacher Report, and it talks all about sports, and it was talking about how the WNBA is going to come back. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a basketball league for the women, and I went through the comments, and they all were talking about how they're not good enough, and why can't they play, or why can't they go back to the kitchen. But in our world, I look at it as anyone can be good at anything if they really want to, and half of those people in the comments are worse than them, but they just want to talk, but they will not say it to her face. And the girls use that as motivation, as one posted it, because she said, when people tell me to go back to the kitchen, I take that as motivation. So as you can see, it doesn't affect them. It just makes you look like a sore loser, and you're jealous about what have they accomplished.
Another form of discrimination is age. What age has to do with discrimination is being too young or too old or too mature for certain activities. One of the examples of these is advertisement on like being too young or too old to do certain activities or jobs or something like that. Another example is not interviewing someone based on their age, or they might be too old or too young to do something, or they don't fit in with certain people. Another one is not hiring someone because they're too young or too old, because they're too fast or too slow. Example or a personal experience I've had with age discrimination is when I was younger, I used to go to basketball courts and play basketball, but sometimes I wasn't allowed to play because I was too young. young, too short, something like that, and they wouldn't let me play. Another experience I had with discrimination is racial discrimination. One day, me and my friend, who is African American, went to a liquor store after practice, and we were going through the liquor store, and I bought my stuff, and I went to wait for him. But when he tried to purchase his things, the clerk man or whatever accused him of stealing and made him like check his pockets and empty his pockets, and he found nothing when he searched him. And my friend got really mad over that. And yeah.
The personal experience that I have seen was not firsthand discrimination on my end. However, I did see it as a witness. In elementary school, a boy that did not come from the wealthiest of families, he didn't have the newest clothes or all the required materials for school. He could barely even get a meal before school. This boy and his family could not afford to buy him something as small as a pair of socks. I had taken notice of this, but just took a glance. I didn't see it as anything important or anything that I needed to point out. Another boy, however, did think that it was going to benefit him by telling the whole class that the boy wasn't wearing socks, and he called him names such as homeless and other words along those lines to make the boy feel bad for not being able to have socks. Not something that's in his control, as he was dependent on his parents who couldn't even afford to get him food for the day. Before I witnessed it, I didn't know that the boy was poor. I didn't know that they were living off food stamps. But when I did, it disturbed me at the thought of another boy, or at the thought of the boy making fun of him for something that was so meaningless when he couldn't look at the bigger picture. That was, the boy wasn't even promised the right amount of food per day. And no one, and especially no kid, should have to go through the hardships of life at such an early age. Although it didn't seem like it affected that boy that much, it still could have been prevented easily if the other boy had just kept his mouth shut about such a simple thing. But even to this day, I still look back and feel sorrow for the boy who discriminated for his low income and economic standpoint.
How we can solve this problem with discrimination is
We can take social acceptance classes that will be mandatory per twice a month, and it will be sent just through the mail, just the same way that jury duty would be sent.
community service, yeah. And there's another ways we cannot bring it up, the problem, or not go along to it, like don't put too much, like what they say, the saying is don't put gasoline into the fire or just expand the fire. So just don't bring up forms of discrimination or just ignore someone who tells you something about your race, gender, or sex.
I think overall discrimination is a very difficult issue to deal with because people are always going to speak their minds, but we have to train them to learn when to say something and when not to say something and what to say. And I think social acceptance classes can help with that issue if they learn how to control their speech.
And just standing up to the bully will help you with anything because they think you're too soft or you're scared of them. But just showing something or telling an adult with that and just taking the social classes will help you and realize that this is more than just saying them, because people have killed themselves over getting discriminated over their gender, race, or sex, and it's a serious topic. But me and Andy plan to make people take our social classes and help them with this problem.